Perfect timing too. What's up? Facebook, YouTube,
Snapchat. No.
What it is, what it's gonna be. What it ain't.
MySpace. Black Planet.
Look, Christian Mingle, what's happening? Hopefully y'all had a good week. Happy Friday to you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey.
We at the end of October. That means we at the end of the year.
Ooh, Jesus.
Crazy.
Man, you talking about a year that is flying.
You talking about, boy, sheesh.
That's a mixture. It's a lot of people saying this year is going by slow.
Who's saying it's going
To
by?
me, it's flying by.
It is flying by.
It's flying by to me.
I
can say it's moving slow.
I literally forgot that fight that broke out at Kansas happened earlier this year. That's how fast the year is from. Remember
Kansas State?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was this year?
Yes.
It definitely seems like 2 years ago. A year ago.
Dang.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say that's what she said, but I guess that wasn't the time.
Come on.
That's what she said.
Alley-oop. She also said that class is in session.
You gonna take my phone?
Huh?
You gonna take my
No, I
phone?
ain't gonna take your phone.
They used to do that back in school.
So I got hit with the little flip phone. You put it just out to the side.
So we trying to type ABC right here. But anyways, it's funny you mentioned that because I be catching kids do that now while I'm teaching, and I just look them and I'm like, Skylar, put the phone away. And they look like, I ain't doing nothing. Right.
I ain't even got my phone now.
Right, exactly. They'd be lying. But anyways, hopefully you guys see the name that I have chosen for today. It's a breast and a titty. And for those that are like, why does he name himself a breast and a titty? It's because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I want to make sure that we from Let's Be Real acknowledge that month, for many given reasons. I personally have had a great aunt of mine who passed due to breast cancer. This was like 3 years ago. And unfortunately, it happened like right during Thanksgiving. And it's sad, but it's the way of the world, unfortunately. So this is for women, right? Men, please go check your prostate and all that stuff, right? But women as well want to make sure that you are going to get your mammograms as frequently as your OBGYN tells you to do. And if you're a man listening to this, like, I don't need to do that, tell your woman that you would love to make sure she's in great health. Anyone else have any stories about breast cancer that they would like to share with us and with the masses about that? Sharky, go ahead, Cap. I see.
My aunt, she's a breast cancer survivor. Also, my girlfriend's mother, her mama is a breast cancer survivor as well. So just give salute to them. This month holds dear to my heart because I was there around my aunt when she went to surgery and everything. I remember our family, that was about 6-7 years ago. Yeah, I just remember the time frame.
Good. Thank you for sharing, Cap. Anybody else have any breast cancer things that they know about or how it affects your family?
My grandmother at the time when I was younger, she suffered from breast cancer, and it had gotten so bad that she had to actually have one of her breasts removed during this time frame. Fortunately, she had a lot of other stuff going on, so she's no longer with us. Of course, that's been a while. As Brother Sheedy said, if you can, man, women, like, please get your mammograms as directed, as advised by your doctors and your OBGYNs, man. So that's definitely important.
Definitely. I heard Skylar was coming off. Go ahead.
No, literally what I was about to say, Trevor, and you have already said. So I'm good.
Okay. And so again, just wanted to make sure that we at Let's Be Real, make sure we acknowledge these things that are going on. Speaking of acknowledging some things that are going on, let's talk about this good old, not the debate. I'm not talking about the debate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
I'm gonna give you a firm reason why I'm not going to talk about the debate right now. because I've already voted. And I want to make sure that we are more aware, not about the presidential selection that you will make, if you have not already, but I think it's always going to be more important about our Senate race. So remember, we have 2 senators that represent the great state of Memphis and the surrounding state of Tennessee. Is there a way, actually, Trey, can I just share my screen by chance so I can show people the candidates that we have? All right. Actually, I'm going to just share this. I should have just tried this before. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Hold on.
Not yet.
Yep.
Now we can.
Oh, there we are.
Okay, excellent. And so all I did was, and I want to make sure I'm clear, all I did was the same thing that everyone else does when it's time to get Jordans or you're looking for shoes or something like that. I went on Google and searched it. And so I searched for the candidates that we have that are up for the Senate. Again, I've already voted, and I believe my brothers on here pretty much have already voted as well. Bill Haggerty and Marquita Bradshaw are your 2 kind of front runners, so to speak, representing the Senate race. You have your other independents. I have no idea what FAPA is, so please do not ask me.
I'm going to ask you for real. Like, who's FAPA?
Right. But these are pretty much your 2 top candidates. To do more research about this, Bill Haggerty is getting a lot of money filled into his campaign, much more than Marquita Bradshaw. And for those of us that don't understand, Republicans tend to get more money for their campaigns as opposed to Democratic ones. But we want to make sure we research what these 2 candidates are about. Marquita Bradshaw being Democratic. She's in Memphis, as you can see, representing the great state of Memphis and the surrounding state of Tennessee. While Bill is in Nashville, which is Nashville. But again, want to give you all your opportunity to look at the candidates. Again, there's under independents as well. As you all know as well, I'll talk about the presidential race. Yes, Kanye is actually on the ballot. Please do not be senile and do that. But I'll leave it there. Does anyone want to speak about these senators that we have that are up for election right now?
No, but I do have a question.
Okay.
So you mentioned how heavily funded Bill Haggerty and his campaign is, and you talked about typically most Republicans that are running for Senate, that's typically the case. Is that based off of the state, or that's countrywide, where typically if there's a Republican that's running for Senate, they typically have more money towards their campaign? Or is that kind of based off like where you're in?
It's going to be a combination of both, but more heavily because Republican National Committee or conventions, so to speak, and the committee itself that represents the Republicans, they just raise more money. You see more Republicans that are tied to like resources such as like oil and natural gases. So they're funded historically by those big companies. That's why they don't do the tax breaks as often, right? We'll give those tax breaks to those that are making millions of dollars. So it's really based upon the party. But there are some times where the Democrats do raise more money than the Republicans, but to each his own. But right now it's overwhelming the amount of money that Bill has been able to funnel as opposed to Marquita.
Okay.
Thank you for that question, brother. Any other questions?
I have one more. Sorry, if anybody else didn't have any.
I have a statement after Skylar goes.
Okay.
Typically, do we have that many people that's running independent? That's a lot.
Typically, yes, you do. You'll have as many. Independent can run as many. You can have as many people be independent as possible. However, there can only be one Republican and one Democrat that runs for a particular whatever position that may be. But in terms of independent, you can have as many independents on the ballot as long as they see fit.
Gotcha. All right, I'm done.
I think
so my statement would be not necessarily anything to do with the deep in-depth political analysis, but thinking about like and this might be to anybody out there who is thinking about running for any type of public office. Make sure that you have I guess it's kind of like a not a trigger word. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like make sure that your social media and your website are like millennial friendly and even below millennial, because like if you have an old looking website, millennial voters are less inclined to vote for you. I've been telling a lot of my students that I work with at my job, to look in depth to what each candidate has on their websites, the social media, things like that. And these 18 to 21 year olds are really out here looking at your website. And so if it's an old looking website and there's like typos, they're probably not going to vote for you because they look at that stuff. But let's do a better job at making our page navigationable friendly, millennial friendly, Gen Z friendly, all that good stuff. So yeah, everybody do that. That's on this list. If you are watching, I'm sure you are watching.
Yeah, we want them to. So I want to also just because I know I'm tight on time. These are our candidates for our House of Representatives. Remember, these are the people that are actually going to represent us from regular districts. So we have 11 districts that we have. These are the districts that are up for election and those that, the party that they represent. And so as you can go through, I'm just going to cycle through these really quickly. I don't know exactly where each district is right now. So if you're going to ask me that, I have no idea. However, I can tell you District 5, Jim Cooper, he's running unopposed and he's in Nashville, right? So you can either vote for him or not vote for him, but he's probably going to represent that District 5. And then we have some other candidates as well that will be up. Now, I'm going to stop share here. I just want to, again, with my time, when I looked into our results so far, and this was as of yesterday, we had approximately 190,000 people have went to vote in person already. And that's 27,000 absentee requests have also been sent out. But about half of those have been returned so far. So that's really good. What that means is we've sent out 27,000 ballots. Half of those have already been returned back and have been counted. And the last thing I want to speak about, this is from my heart, is there was a ruling today that affects Shelby County schools in regards to in-person learning. Let me say this, I'm an educator. I believe that education, especially for those younger students like kindergarten to like second or third grade, need that sensory. They need to touch things and feel things to learn, and sound and things like that. Things that are a little bit more challenging as it comes to virtual. However, y'all still not wearing y'all's masks. Y'all still not washing your hands. COVID is still a thing. There has been a spike in COVID so dangerous. This one of the dangerous spikes, or one of the most serious spikes that we've had in these past 2 days. And so the ICU beds actually in the state of Memphis, again, I'm always going to say the state of Memphis, are up to 92% filled right now. But we believe that going back to school is the right thing to do. I don't believe we're ready yet, even if it comes to January. I just don't think that it's that time yet. But I did want to speak my piece about that. And I know you guys, either you work for education or you probably have some family members that deal with education. Pray for those that make those decisions about educators, because most of the time those that are making the decisions about educators are not educators themselves, nor are they parents. I distinctly am not only an educator, but I'm a parent. I repeat, I am not going to put myself, my family in any type of danger because you do not wear your mask and you do not wash your hands. As a matter of fact, I think I told you all on the show, one of my students actually got COVID, had COVID like 2 weeks ago, and COVID is not done, right? And so I just want to express that. I know I'm short on time, so I'm closing up there, but like I said, like, you have to think about these things. Please look into the Senate race. Marquita needs our help, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too late to go and check her out and see. Only 1/3 of us have voted so far. So we have 2/3 that are needed to move the needle. And in all, that debate didn't mean anything because we got to get somebody up out of office. And with that being said, class is dismissed.
Cool. Oh yeah. Before we move, shout out to my job, we're project management, but the CEO and everyone CAO, they're part of 100 Black Men in Memphis, and they did a not voter march, a voters walk from our downtown building to the voting center downtown today after work. So I just want to give them a shout out. Kind of matches with everything she just talked about.
All right.
All right. If y'all ready,
Let's do it.
let's get it. All right, let's be real. 110.
Jeez, we're creeping on up there.
We're getting up there, man. Look at that.
Hold up.
Man, it was all a dream just a week ago.
There you go.
Wasn't for Danny.
Feel like it. Feel like it was about a week ago, actually.
It wasn't for Danny or Daniel Jones
Thank you.
or Darren James.
Shout out to Darren now.
All right, man. Quick updates. Skylar, are you watching the game right now?
All righty. So we are, since we last talked, we have now moved on to the World Series in baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays did defeat the Houston Astros. Thank God. They did defeat the Houston Astros, and the LA Dodgers did come back to defeat the Atlanta Braves. So Atlanta has blown yet another big lead. So we are now in the World Series. It's tied 1-1. Both the Rays and the both the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, and the LA Dodgers have won a game apiece. I think now we're at the bottom of the third, and the LA Dodgers are up 3-0. So they're putting in a nice little number on Charlie Morton, who used to pitch for the Houston Astros, who we all know as Cheetah. So really quickly, we're going to go cycle. Start with Savage, Sheedy, Trevor, Took, and then Sharky. If y'all are paying attention to the World Series, what do you think? Just real quickly.
Mookie Betts is that dude. One. Why did the Red Sox? Why did the Red Sox get rid of this man? I don't know. That's one. Mm-hmm. Two, I was surprised. Surprised but not surprised at how well Kershaw pitched the other day. I won't believe it until I see it with him as far as like the Dodgers winning the World Series. So they definitely got plenty of time. I think with baseball 7-game series are the longest series in any sports, in my opinion, just because things can change from game 1 to game 3 or game 4, where the whole momentum shifts. I mean, you mentioned the Braves choking before. That whole series, we thought it was over, and the Braves choked it, So fully expect the Rays to make it interesting. They are a very good team. But the Dodgers, from game 1, they look really, really good. They look like the regular season Dodgers. So I say that. But I think it's still going to go the distance. It's going to go the full 12 rounds, in my opinion. I don't know who's going to win, so don't ask me. I just hope for good baseball. So, but yeah. Red Sox, Mookie Betts, y'all tripping. Like, I don't understand it. So.
And it's absolutely nothing to understand, so I'm gonna bypass that. I've been a huge fan of, not a huge fan, but I like what Clayton has always done in his career. I think he's deserving and getting the ring winning the World Series this year. I think the one thing that it's something about Tampa Bay and the Rays, like when they get into this groove that they have, and it's been like over the years, either they're like really good, or not really good, but they surprise you, or they're just like trash. And like they've made their way to where they're at. And so unless they pull a surprise like the Denver Nuggets, I think the Dodgers can really get this done in 6.
I think a lot of people are leaning that way.
This is probably the most unpredictable series that I probably would look forward to watching. I know we giving our flowers to Mookie Betts, but we also got to give some flowers to Cody Bellinger as well, who's been on a hot streak practically since the NLCS. Of course, he hit the game winner the go-ahead home run, which eventually turned into the game winner in Game 7 to knock off the Braves. Just want to say that Olympic curse still exists. But I do expect this to go the full 7, and I just think at this point it's destiny. I think the Dodgers finally break over the hump and take it.
Mm-hmm. So. Shout out to a baseball fan right there, Mr. K.
Yes, shout out.
The homie KJ.
So I definitely have my conspiracy hat on the last time we talked. Skylar, shout out to you. Because I threw out the fact that LA could be celebrating their second parade. And, I just got the little blank emoji stares. And now, once again, Atlanta blows a 3-1 lead and they're in the World Series. And, my conspiracy hat is still on my head. So, I don't know much about baseball, but my conspiracy hat on, and I'm going with the Dodgers in 6.
There you go.
All you know is LA, and you know that Olympic curse exists.
Exactly. LA ain't done turning up, man. We in a pandemic, and they trying to get their money back up. So they ain't done.
Yeah. That's me. I got the Dodgers. It's unpredictable, but as now wrote the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw finally had a good World Series game in Game 1. Normally he chokes in the playoffs, so if it's like Alex Rodriguez. He used to choke in the postseason year after year after year. He finally had that one round with the Yankees. Finally, I think I forgot what year, but he finally played well.
2009. Yeah.
No, I thought it was 2009, but I didn't want to say it.
2009.
Cool. So Clayton Kershaw, I think it's his time. I think the Dodgers pull it off. I think similar to the A-Rod mode. It's this. Yeah. It's this year.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll just wrap it up by saying I think what everything that y'all said were good points. I just like watching baseball like in the postseason. Regular season it's so long, 162 games, and then you got pitchers pitching to players who had like 4 home runs. I never understand that for the life of me. But I think for any fan up there that just like sports in general, pay attention to postseason baseball. I think you'll like. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts. But postseason baseball is where it's at.
It's lovely. Love it.
Yep. Move on from the baseball field to the football field. Savage, someone was named.
Yes. Our Tua Tagovailoa is now named the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback. This is after a decent performance from Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has led the Dolphins to a 3-3 record. They just beat the Jets. What was it, 24-0, I believe. And I'll just read Fitzpatrick's direct quote because it kind of threw me off guard how he was caught off guard. So Fitzpatrick said, quote, "I was shocked by it. It definitely caught me off guard. It was a hard thing for me to hear yesterday, just kind of digesting the news. My heart just hurt all day. It was heartbreaking for me." So I'll go in this order: Shark, Toot, Trevor, Sheedy, and Skylar. How do you guys feel about, one, Tua being the starter, and then 2, hearing Fitzpatrick's words about him being shocked about Tua being named starter?
All right. My answer is twofold. Of course, I like Tua, and so I'm excited to see him play. But when I first heard the news, I didn't. One, Fitzpatrick had been playing well. They're 3-3. I kind of thought it was just odd timing. But then I saw they had a bye week coming up. Maybe they already had this planned. But after hearing Fitzpatrick's remarks, it's like they probably did have this planned, but they didn't tell him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, one part of me is like, okay, it's NFL. You knew eventually Tua was going to take your job. But on the other hand, if this was already planned, they should have told him too. So I kind of feel conflicted in the sense of that. But I lean more towards the side that, I mean, communication is key. In this case, communication is key. He should have been he should have been told like, bye week, or when Tua gets truly healthy. Tua was his backup. So saying Tua got healthy, now he can play. He's obviously been somewhat healthy because if Fitzpatrick got hurt, Tua was gonna be playing. Mm-hmm. So he was healthy already. So I don't like how they did. Don't like that. But in the end, Fitzpatrick is gonna eventually start playing bad. So but yeah, they should have told.
Yeah, Shai, good point. Like, you took the words right out of my mouth as far as like communication is key. Like, you got Fitzpatrick, who's actually a putting up top 10, quarterback numbers, you know what I'm saying, for a Miami Dolphins team that isn't good. But if you go look at, his stats, like he's doing really, really well. So communication is key. If you have a player that's playing well like that and you didn't plan on starting him the next game, just tell the guy, you know what I'm saying? He's a veteran. He can understand. He understood that one day, he wouldn't be the quarterback of the team, but at least have the decency to tell him. Y'all know how I feel about Tua. If there's anybody that's not a fan of him, is this guy. So the fact that the Miami Dolphins take a quarterback that's given, again, top 10 numbers and giving it to a rookie who hadn't played a game yet, I think is asinine, you know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much a downhill effect at this point, because we see how Ryan Tannehill is doing with the Titans. Like I told Sharky, like Tannehill is a great quarterback. You put him in a good system, he's going to thrive. And look at what's going on in Miami. I'm not sure if they know what's going on, period. So, good luck to Tua for sure, but I'd rather have Fitzpatrick going on until he mess up. That's just me.
Yeah, well, for me, I think had the record had been a little bit worse than what it is right now, it'd have been a little justified. And if I'm not mistaken, they're not that far behind from first place in the AFC East. I think they're like maybe a game or so back.
One game
behind the Bills. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of mind-boggling there. If you're Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course, as a veteran, you have to understand, of course, everything that's going on. You're there to be the veteran and actually be the starter, but of course, eventually the keys got handed to him the moment they took him in the draft. So that's something that you should have already have known. I get the fact that he's probably heartbroken, probably because the Dolphins have been playing well. But again, just going back to my point, like you have to be a veteran, you have to know exactly what is going on there. As far as Tua is concerned, I really wish they could have waited another week before they actually put him in the starting lineup. I know he has a bye, but of course his first game is against the Rams and Aaron Donald. So yeah, especially for your guy you just drafted that's coming off of hip surgery, and the first game you got him in is against the Aaron Donald.
Best.
Good luck, man. I'm rooting for you too, but good luck.
Yeah. I thought I was next.
Sheedy.
Yeah, exactly. Second. But anyways, speaking of asinine, too, I think this is an ass at 10. Because like Tua was 2 for 2. Like, it wasn't like he came in the game and took over for Ryan Fitzpatrick and went 17 for 25. He was 2 for 2, right? And I get the part that, veteran, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a bona fide backup. Mm-hmm. That is him. I think he's looking to possibly get that Ryan Tannehill type of love that okay, I was always a backup, but now I can lead a team. He's doing fantastic. His team, now, granted, this is COVID, but talking about they just won 2 straight games, right? They beat San Francisco at San Francisco. I don't care what COVID and what other things happened because we're not going to remember this in 2 years. But we'll remember him beating them and the Jets. Again, 2 for 2 against the Jets. I mean, I could probably be 2 for 2 against the Jets as well. And so I don't think this is the right timing. I think because if they would have communicated to Ryan Fitzpatrick that at the start of the season, no matter what we do in 6 games, during the bye week, I want to get Tua ready to go against the Rams, then that should have been done. And maybe it was done, and maybe, he is in Florida, so maybe he had some cannabis and he forgot. But, I don't think this is the right move right now for them, especially when you have just a game and a half or a game, for being outside of the division.
For me, I think it was the right move. I mean, I look at it as if they're telling us that Tua's the starter, one, he has to be doing well in practice. He naturally has, because if he wasn't, then he wouldn't be getting the starting job. And I think the matchup may not be great, but again, he gets 2 weeks to prepare for the Rams, and there's no timetable for you can prepare for Aaron Donald. But heck, giving him 2 weeks, and I think he's probably looking good in practice, I think is justified. So Ryan Fitzpatrick knew this was coming. I'm not sure why his feelings are hurt, why he's surprised. He knew what was going on when he signed to come back. So I'm not sure exactly why he was shocked of any type of any sort. This team was Tua's. Dolphins team was to us from the beginning. It was never yours. So why your feelings are hurt, I have no idea. You're a bona fide backup, like Sheedy said. I'm pretty sure you've had this conversation before. I'm pretty sure every time that you went from the backup to the starter, that you weren't always told, hey, you got to be looking at it that you potentially make mistakes. No, that didn't always naturally happen. I'm ready for two. I'm ready to see how he looks. I'm pretty sure he'll look good. He might not light it up, but I think he'll look good.
Yeah. And quick update on Ryan Fitzpatrick's numbers. He has 1,500 yards passing, 13th in the league, 10 TDs. That's tied for 13th in the league. 7 picks. He has a 79.6 QBR on a scale of 1 to 100, so with 50 being average, so that's pretty good. And he's 7th in the league in QBR, so he's playing well. But I mean, this man, he'll be 38 in November, and he's not getting any better. So like Scott said, I don't know how he was surprised. I mean, this man, Tua was a first round pick, first round pick.
Right.
I'm a big proponent of letting the rookie go ahead and play and just get it out the way. I don't care if he's ready or not. If you got a rookie in the first round, you're probably a tanking team. A quarterback as a rookie in the first round, you're tanking. You're not good. So you might as well give the QB some reps so that he can get ready. So I'm not sure what was so special about week 9, I guess, week 8 or 9 against the Rams. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's special about that time. I guess it's the middle of the season. My thing is, I would wonder what would have happened if they were like 5-1 instead of 3-3. You know, what would have been the case then? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I fully expect Tua to do well so long as he keeps his health in order. But I expect at some point he will get hurt. Just from knowing him, watching him play in Alabama, the dude got talent. The dude is special. It's just that can he stay healthy or will he be, Robert Griffin III Part 2? So somebody had a question. I think Skylar, go ahead, Skylar.
It's not a question, but I think at the end of the day, like, we know who Ryan Fitzpatrick is. Just as much as he's lighting it up, the reason he's always been a backup is because he's due for about two games where he give you about 6 picks. So the Dolphins.
Hey man, my thing is, bro, if what I got going ain't broke, don't try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you 3-3, like my man Kevin said, they 3-3. You're predicted to be one of the worst, if not the worst, football team in the league, and you 3-3, one game away from the division. Like,
I don't think they were predicted to be the worst
last year. But one of the worst.
Last year, they were pretty competitive.
They were pretty good last year. Yeah.
I mean, they weren't like good, but they were competitive. People thought they were coming to this season being with Tom Brady gone, they could actually win the division with Fitzpatrick. Yeah. So
I think I heard it.
I heard it. I mean, they're right there. They're right there.
Right there. So
I agree with them. I agree in not thinking they're going to be one of the worst. But
call me a hater. I'd rather have Fitzpatrick than Tua.
I'm with you.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Oh well.
Well, staying in the AFC. 2/3 of the Killer Bees will be officially playing football again. We'll get to the second one in just a moment. So Le'Veon Bell, immediately after being released from the New York Football Jets, will sign a 1-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, he'll roughly make $1 million with this 1-year deal, and of course, he still owe all the money that he got from his deal with the Jets. So I'll start with my fellow Steelers buddy, then Sharky, Toop, Savage, then Sheedy. Just get your thoughts on Le'Veon Bell and what this means for Kansas City.
I guess.
Really? That's it?
I mean, do we not see Clyde Edwards-Helaire like just not ball out? I'm pretty sure like he just, in my opinion, I think he just snatched some carries away from Le'Veon Bell. In my honest opinion, I mean, I think the Chiefs are already, in my opinion, going to win the AFC anyway. So, like, what's better to discuss?
So I was actually talking to my barber, barbershop talk, and when he was a free agent, he was asking me, you know what I'm saying, what do you see Le'Veon? I said either the Patriots or the Chiefs. So for him to sign with the Chiefs, it's kind of like a perfect signing because, you do have the rookie, but at the same time, you bring in somebody, a veteran Le'Veon Bell, who can do what you can do, and you combine him with Andy Reid. dude, that's like it's damn near Super Bowl, repeat over and over. And I damn near might hop on a bandwagon, but I'm gonna still ride out with the Ravens because that's what I do. I'm a rider. But like it makes the Chiefs that much more powerful when you can have two running backs. And if you look at how the league's going, if you got two good successful running backs and Patrick Mahomes is back there, like 9 times out of 10, you don't win a football game.
Right. And I think I said it, like, I know y'all gotta go, but most of us knew that the Chiefs at least going to the Super Bowl anyway. So it's not like nothing changed.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, it didn't do anything for me.
I feel you. You had them winning regardless. I feel you.
Yeah.
Sharky.
Actually, Skyler, I was the same. It was the same way for me. I mean, it was like, yeah, it helps them, but I mean, their defense still not that good. So they helped one side of the ball that was already good. That was already borderline great. It made it. I guess they made it a little more better. I mean, yeah, their defense is what they need more help at. So it doesn't. As a Titans fan, as a Steelers fan, for y'all, I don't think it makes anything. It doesn't make me think. If I already thought the Titans could beat them, it doesn't make me think differently. Like it doesn't. It didn't make that type of move. Le'Veon Bell is still great. Don't get me wrong, but for that team, for how great on offense they already are, they need it. If they got somebody on defense to the level of Le'Veon Bell, then I would have felt differently. But not for the offense that was already great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a luxury at this point for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I mean, as somebody that saw what Andy Reid did with Brian Westbrook and having him go crazy, I feel like Le'Veon Bell is like Brian Westbrook on steroids for Andy Reid. So and Bell is still young. He's like 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. So he still has a good, at least 2-3 years left in him within this Kansas City Chiefs window of competing for a Super Bowl, so long as they can spend money before Mahomes' contract that mud kicks in. It might be a wrap. But yeah, y'all know who my Super Bowl pick out of AFC is. I like Skyler mentioned.
Perfect time.
At the bottom of the screen, you got Esau talking about. Yeah, so I still don't think this moves it anymore. I mean, they already had Pat Mahomes. I mean, that's enough right there. You don't need nobody else. So I mean, it's a luxury for Andy Reid. Basically, that's pretty much what it is. I won't say it's still a thing that you got to deal with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell and Tyreek and Miko and Travis Kelce and Mahomes. So it's still very, very scary. But like Scott said, defense still kind of lacking. But it's a luxury.
Listen, who in the world needs defense with the Chiefs? They're going to put up at least 56 every game. And so I agree, though. He doesn't quite move the needle to say, hey, they're definitely going to repeat. The Chiefs were already in the conversation to at least get to the AFC Championship, if not go all the way to the Super Bowl. So Le'Veon Bell doesn't move that for anyone. He's still worthy of being talked about, clearly, because we're talking about him right now. He's still got some spring in his step. He's happy. Watch how motivated he'll be to get out of that situation with the Jets, right? And I think that's key as well for him.
Oh, to go from Adam Gase to Andy Reid?
Yeah.
Night and day. Night and day.
Literally, last word.
Yeah. And so, I think that will produce a different bounce for him. And again, talking about veteran leadership, I mean, they've already won the Super Bowl, but now you're adding another Super Bowl winner as well. And so I look forward to what the Chiefs can do. I'm not really, like I said, not worried about their defense because, like I said, they can be down how much and still come back and win. We saw that all playoffs, right? And this offense just actually got better. Even though there's some tape on them, the things that Patrick Mahomes can do, unbelievable. But also, what Le'Veon Bell can still do, I think, is still something that we need to speak about at a later time.
And I'll just wrap it up real quick just by saying I basically agree with all you guys. It doesn't really move the needle that much. It pretty much puts them in the Super Bowl again, but we already kind of said it previously before the season even started. And as Sheedy said, what's defense to Kansas City? Like, they coming in, they finna score 40. You better score 45. That's it if you're talking about beating. It's just that simple. But I'm just a little interested to see how things would look with Le'Veon back there, especially with Andy Reid. I can imagine him and Edwards-Helaire basically on the field at the same time, one in the backfield, or Le'Veon lined up in the slot somewhere, or both of them lined up in the slot. Like Andy Reid is basically just getting a new toy at this point, for lack of a better term. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play defense against the Chiefs, and I'll go for my turn, just make sure they all catch COVID-19.
That's the only way you're going to stop the Chiefs.
That's it. From scoring, at least.
Yeah.
And so switch gears to the other busy bee that is now joined the ranks, Antonio Brown, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another B that has been added to a team, to me, on paper that was already fully loaded. And so I want to hear from Sharky first, and then I want to hear from the Steelers. And I wanted you guys to answer this question. What does Antonio Brown bring as a receiver to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that they didn't already have in their other receivers?
Well, I guess, he was the best wide receiver in the NFL, or arguably the best wide receiver when he played. So he brings the best wide receiver in the NFL, possibly. The route running, of course, precision, timing. Him and Tom Brady played, although it was just one game in New England. They had some practice time together about 2 or 3 weeks. So, what you guys want him? Tom Brady wanted him. Chris Godwin has been hurt. Chris Godwin's on my fantasy team, and he's been hurt. So might as well bring in Antonio Brown.
The question was, I think we asked this question on the podcast a couple of months ago when this whole AB thing was being talked about, and the question was asked, will AB be back in the league? And I knew wholeheartedly at that time that he was going to be back in the league, and he's going to be back in the league just for his talent alone. I know what he's done off the field has been a reality TV series, but what he is on the field is arguably one of the best, probably the best receiver in the league right now. I know Hopkins is still out there. I know Julio Jones is out there. But for somebody who he was on the Steelers and I saw him week in, week out, the man is always open. I don't care if you double team him, triple team him, put somebody over the top, put somebody press coverage. He's always open. It does nothing but make Gronk's day better, Tom Brady's day better. This makes Godwin, when he gets back, Mike Evans, forgot that he was on the team. This makes everybody's day that much better and that much easier. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, just to answer the question, what does Antonio Brown, AB, bring to this receiving core that the other guys don't, is basically a possession receiver, if you want to use that. As Skylar just pointed out, every time you look up, AB is pretty much open a lot of 90% of the time. You can almost force the ball to AB at this point, and somehow, some way, like he's bringing it in. The quarterback's either throwing the pick or AB's making the catch. That's just how great Antonio Brown has been for the Steelers. And basically, Evans and Godwin is there just to take the top off the defense, and then Gronk is just going to be Gronk at this point. So you can pretty much, and I'm with Skyler, you can book it like the Buccaneers will be in the Super Bowl representing the NFC.
Thank you for that. I got questions for the other two gentlemen, Tuke and Savage. Antonio Brown and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers start very nicely. They go against the Raiders. For those that don't know, COVID-19 has took away like the whole offensive line for the Raiders, so that's a win. The Giants are pathetic. That's the next game. And then you have the Saints and the Aints after that. So, like, for you guys, right? So I also believe that Tampa Bay has a great chance of finishing well with their record that's left. And I'll just go over their record really. The remaining games. After the Saints, they play the Panthers. Then the Rams.
Wait, are we the Aints?
No, the Saints Aints.
Oh, okay. Because you said the Saints then the Aints. You said the Saints then the Aints, so it's like you play the Saints and the Panthers. So okay.
No, this year, yeah, I'm gonna leave the Panthers alone. Give them the due credit, man. They do
as you should,
right?
As you should.
Oh my God, to leave it alone. All right, and the Rams, and then they have Kansas City, right? So the Bell, and the Browns should play again. Then you have Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit, Atlanta. Like, they have a cakewalk to get there.
they might lose this one game to Kansas City. That's all I can say.
Pretty much.
Right. So my question to you is, now after the season is done, whatever happens, where would you see if he has a successful season? Where does he thus end up with, or what team do you believe he can go to and make a successful impact and return? Because what I've heard already from Cap and our resident Steeler fans is that he's going to make a great impact. Brother CJ, I believe, said he's going to be very explosive, possession receiver. But what does this mean for him next year, knowing that this is just a one-year deal with him in Tampa Bay?
I can go first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Bob, what do you mean for him? Like, as far as like, will he stay with Tampa Bay or move on somewhere else? Okay. Yeah. I mean, Dez Bryant just got signed to a practice squad, and Dez Bryant is like, what, 36, 37? AB just turned 32 this summer, and I watch a lot of Steelers games too, just because they're always on TV. And this man AB is y'all listen to me. This man AB is a combination of Chad Johnson and Jerry Rice. Like, this man route running is probably one of the best I've ever seen, along with Chad Johnson. And the man catches everything like Jerry Rice. Several years with 100 catches, 110, 120, 130, damn near 140 catches. Like, he's catching the damn ball. So that's something that you can't teach. And I'm looking at like a team like the Eagles, for example, Greg Ward, who's like 25, but he can't run. You know what I'm saying? AB can run. And if he gets older, put him in a slot like Fitzgerald in Arizona, and his career is going to lengthen longer and longer. The man can make catches. So if he's not with Tampa Bay, I expect him to be with a team that's competing, that needs just that one more piece. He might mess around and be in Kansas City. I don't know. he might mess around being.
Stop, please.
I'm just saying.
I just lost my appetite.
I think it's the other team that was going after him if he was to
Seattle.
It'll be Seattle.
That's cool, but I'm saying like a team like Kansas City, like a team like the Titans might use him and put him in a slot somewhere.
Like Seattle. I'm not trying to get him, but the Titans we don't get personalities like him.
For now. Mike Vrabel is cut from that cloth where he can handle them dudes, man. But not for real. but not for real. Yeah, I see AB having a like 5 more years in the league where he can still be AB. And like I said, like Fitzgerald, transition into being that slot receiver for a competing team. Shout out to Esau.
There's Brian 31.
31? I thought he was
31. They do feel like he old.
He feel like he old.
Well, since we're talking speed, man, salute to all my fantasy players out there that was able to grab AB before the next person can. Gotta definitely throw that out there. Like yours truly. But going on to
I did in another league. So
I got him in 2 out of 3 leagues, and I'm happy about that, man. AB, come on home. I need you. But now
he does.
Yeah, he does.
No, but to answer Sheedy's questions, man, definitely don't see him with the Bucks next season. Savage, good point on the Eagles, like Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts, whichever one to be starring. That's y'all problem to have. He can definitely fit in quite well with that team. I think you also can look at the Ravens, who also just signed Dez Bryant, but Dez may not be there, but you could give an electric receiver to go with Lamar Jackson. You make that offense that much better, especially with that defense that they got. But then I also look at both of the LA teams as well. Like AB likes to be a superstar. Both LA teams could use another superstar. The Chargers, got Keenan Allen. He's been balling this season, but if you can put AB next to him, they can also ball out as well. So AB wants to be a superstar. He is a superstar, and I think is this going to be his first ring? Yeah, this is going to be his first ring with Tom Brady. So, the sky could be the limit for AB, man, especially if as long as his mental is right. Mm-hmm. As long as his mental right, I think that's the key word that needs to be said, because last season, like I thought he was going through some things, CTE, CAT scans, and all that stuff. And like for him to be back is a blessing, because that's one of my favorite receivers to watch. But he was looking like he was going, downhill. So the fact that he's back in the league, the league is better to have him. I just hope his mental's right. And, the connection him and Tom Brady had with the Patriots is something that can't be overlooked.
I think you nailed on the head too. Like, Tom Brady got him. Like, Tom Brady gonna be able to handle him, because in his only game with New England, Brooke caught 4 catches for 60-something yards and touchdowns.
They did that thing.
Instantly.
Two touchdowns, yeah.
Instantly clicked. So I get Mike Evans on my fantasy team, and I'm sad because now don't
be.
targets are gone.
He's gonna get the target.
Imagine me and Sharky with Chris Godwin. So
no, real talk to Mike Evans ain't been doing squat.
Nothing lately. Nope.
Hey man, and I got Tom Brady and Antonio Brown on one of my leagues. So hey,
get ready.
I need this.
By the time you stop tanking.
Right.
Man, what? Welcome
Keep
to
that
the
energy
party.
over there, man. Keep that energy over there.
Welcome there, Two-Man's Hill, since you're doing the
Hey man, I stopped taking this fantasy league serious once I saw that dumbass trade earlier this season, but that's neither here.
Moving along.
That's neither here there. That's neither here or there. That's good.
Well, actually, too, because it's your turn. Actually,
it's my turn.
Right.
Let's bring some positive energy. Because it's 2020, man. I told y'all last week. I don't know how, but it's 2020, and the University of Memphis Tigers will beat UCF, and I don't care if it's by 1 point, 2 points, a field goal, whatever we won. So shout out to the University of Memphis Tigers for pulling off that W. And most importantly, y'all, shout out to Brady White for finally getting more than 3 touchdowns in a game. We need to add a round of applause on this one, ladies. So he had 6 touchdowns for those who don't know. And like I said, I'm just excited.
7 touchdowns.
Seven. You're right. So salute to Brady White, man. Great game to the Tigers. We finally beat UCF, and we barely have fans there. I know the city of Memphis would have definitely been turned if they were able to watch the game, especially live. But it is what it is. We finally beat them. Next year, hopefully, COVID's still going on, so we can have a fighting chance too. But it is.
I'm trying to get to these games, man. I'm trying to be there.
Now let's get some reactions there because we definitely got some more news to talk about the Memphis Tigers. We're gonna start off with Sharky, Skylar, Sav, Sheedy, Trev.
Man, y'all know I make predictions and hope I'm wrong. So thank God I was wrong.
Exactly.
I picked them to lose for the exact reason that they were losing the whole game. UCF had 800. Let me put it this way. They started quarterback at 600 yards passing, bro. 600 yards passing. They had three wide receivers with at least 170 yards receiving. I don't know how.
You could have lined up out there, sir.
Huh?
You could have lined up out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you could have got $120.
I could have lined up out.
And a touchdown.
Right.
And a TD.
I could have been a DB on Memphis team and held one them to 150. 170. Let's tell you this. I don't know how. I'm glad y'all predictions were y'all don't know how because that's exactly what happened.
2020.
I can't tell you this. I knew UCF was about to drive down the field after we took the lead, and I knew because of that Tulsa game last year, I was like, he gonna miss that field goal because it happened last year against Tulsa. Football guys on our side, y'all. Let's go. Stripe up.
To what Sharky just said, to what most of us said, because I went back to go watch the recording. I don't know how. I don't know why. Shout out to the sports podcast. I have no idea how the Tigers won the game. The only reason I continued to watch the game when it was a blowout was because I was watching it with my brother. And he said that the game was over. So that is the only reason I watched that game. Shout out to Memphis Twitter too, because Memphis Twitter was spazzing throughout that game. But I walked away from that game saying to myself, this is why Memphis is so hard on Brady White. Brady White, like y'all said, 7 touchdowns, threw for over what passing yards. How many did he have? 486.
Yeah,
almost 500.
Almost 500.
Which is why when he has the games like he had against SMU, we get so frustrated because we've seen glimpses of him having games like this. We know that he can do it, but he has these games where he does really, really well, and then he has his games where he has zero pocket awareness. And so I walked away from the game and just said, give us more of this. You give us more of this, then we can. Then the program can do something. But you have the games like you did against SMU, and we spaz. We get frustrated. So glad that he had a big game. He was definitely. I'm glad that he was able to have one. So to get at least the haters like some of us off his back, he definitely needed it. As far as his defense, I wish, hope, pray at some point. I think when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God why he never blessed the Memphis Tigers with a defensive back. Just an average DB. That's all I want to know. That's
we had Bobby, man. We had Bobby, man. He with the Dolphins. Oh.
We need two. We need two, not one.
Yeah.
We need two. We need two.
I'll take one. That is going to be my first question. When I get to heaven, I'm going to heaven. When I get to heaven, I'm asking God that question. I'm done.
Speak into existence, man. Speak into existence.
There you go.
So y'all already talked about Brady White. I'm gonna talk about Memphis in this regard. Y'all know I call Memphis Weapon U because we get weapons. Some like whether it's kick return, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Calvin Austin III. Welcome to Sean Dykes. Welcome to Rodriguez Clark. Like, we reload with the weapons, man.
Avery, man. Avery. Javon Avery.
Yeah, Ivory. Like we reloading every single year, and these dudes are getting better and better and better. Like I still felt like the offense would be explosive. I was just wondering who's going to step up, and so to see so many different young players step up in place of Kenneth Gainwell, in place of Coxie, who's no longer with the team for whatever reason.
Talk more about that.
But yeah, like to see that happen, I think that's a testament. Even this game in general is a testament to Ryan Silverfield, who is now a made man. Now, I don't care what else happened. Like, you beat UCF, you are a made man. Something that Fuente couldn't do, something that Norvell couldn't do, something that we hadn't done since, I think, 1990, even before the American Conference.
Sheedy was born.
You said, I know, I want to go there. I was going to
about 3 years old.
I was going to go there.
Trevor was born too, I believe. But
yeah,
let's go there.
But yeah, shout out to Ryan Silverfield. Again, this is his first year, so we have to taper back, our expectations of him as a coach. But I feel like that game was just coaching, not necessarily on defense, but on offense. So Brady White had a great turnaround game this game. That's good to see. And like Scott said, just keep it up, keep it consistent going forward for the rest of the games. Got Temple coming up this week, so we'll see how it goes.
I think I was after Savage, I believe. I try to keep the order, right?
Yeah.
And so when I look at Memphis, huge win for them, as you guys already alluded to. A confidence boost going into their next game right now against the Owls, because they got to get ready, because eventually they have to go to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is no joke, right? And as you look through like the box scores of the games that they won and lost, Memphis, when they win, they put up clearly the points in the second half. And so it seems to me they need to just get some more things better in the first half. But it also speaks to the coach in regards to your ability to adjust during halftime. So Ryan Silverfield is getting his cake right now because those two games that he has won so far are come from behind. You were already losing, and you went into halftime. You got the boys fired up, and you came back out for the W. And so shout out to that. The other loss, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with COVID, a lot of other things that were going on. That's the backstory that we're never going to talk about again. We're just going to see it as a loss. But shout out to Ryan Silverfield for this, and let's see how he moves the needle and puts together a complete game next. But shout out to the Tigers for that.
Indeed, I'll keep it short and sweet. Shout out to the Tigers. Still looking like they're on pace for 8-2, as I think most of us called it before the season started, except Savage, who thought they were going to go 10-0. But like I said, I'll keep it short and sweet. I know I was one of the guys that criticized Brady White because he can have games like he did against UCF, and then as Skylar alluded to, he can also stink it up like he did against SMU. But I'm not going to criticize him anymore, because all I'm going to do is just think of Jared Garantano, and then I'll correct myself. So moving right along.
Wait a second, man, y'all gonna get it. Y'all get homie credit, man.
Y'all see my big emoji.
No.
Oh man, go Vols!
I will be the number one defender of Brady White from this moment on, because again,
I mean, he finally did it, man. He did a lot of things that it's something that a lot of quarterbacks from UWMA did, and that's beat UCF. So we definitely got to get off Brady White's back this time, especially after the performance from the game previous. But let's get into so Demonte Coxie, somebody that Brady White didn't actually throw to, is because he decided to go ahead and leave the University of Memphis program. It was really short notice. He didn't play last game, and yet we still won. But real quick, gentlemen, I want to get you all thoughts about, our top receiver saying, hey, I'm going to forego the rest of my season, even though he is going to come back and finish college to get his degree, which is a good look for him. But what do y'all, how do y'all feel about Coxie leaving us so soon, just like that?
I'll start and
we can reverse order.
I'll start and it just kind of caught me off guard for him to leave the program and just all of a sudden declare for the draft, because I think Savage even said, and I agree, that he's like fringe. Like, I haven't seen him on any of the draft boards as of yet. So that may change as the season goes along, or as we get closer time to the combine and eventually the draft. But for it to come all of a sudden as it did was just shocking. So that's my take.
Yeah. And so for me, that decision to leave, I abruptly signals to me maybe he's looking into things in terms of like COVID-19, right? And I don't know, and that could be something that we're not discussing. There's plenty of NFL players, and even just collegiate players that decided not to play due to their health. So maybe there's that underlying thing. That's what I thought and considered when I heard about this. I think he's a great talent. I know he's not on the draft board. I hear that. But I think he can show favor. His product that he's already put together, to me, guarantees him a draft at least by the third round. I don't see him going past the third round in order to declare for the draft. But typically, players that declare for the draft are usually lottery picks or in the first round. He's not one to me yet. But again, his great talent will take him where he needs to go. But I think it's really a health scare for him, possibly, because colleges don't care. They don't care about anything. Like,
that is true.
Colleges are like, hey, you can either kind of be in person or you kind of be virtual, which is just causing a lot of clusters. So I'm just letting you know that. That's all.
Have you seen Georgia's last few games at home? Not socially distanced, and they are packed.
And they need to speak to the governor of the state of Georgia to get that taken care of. Go vote. If you get to Georgia,
please.
So yeah, I'm looking at Coxie's his size. He's 6'3", about 200 pounds. So he has NFL receiver side. Like that's literally like Alshon Jeffrey. And for the past 2 years, not counting this year, his sophomore year, he was 76 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. No, I'm sorry, that was last year. His sophomore year, he was 72 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 TDs. So he, again, is weapon you. Like, I feel like because he's a Memphis receiver, he will get drafted. I feel like he'll be lower than a third round pick, though, Sheedy. I think he's probably like more of a 5th or 6th round pick, which is still not bad for a receiver. I mean, the Eagles tried out a receiver from the 6th round from Old Dominion. So it is kind of weird that he didn't mention Silverfield in his like letter goodbye to the university. I feel like it was something going on character-wise with him, and just knowing just what I've seen from Coxie on the field and even like on Twitter, he does have like knucklehead tendencies from what I've seen. I'm not saying that it is him, but just tendencies that I see. But I feel like it is a combination of the COVID situation and then just some kind of headbutting going on with the coach. So I fully expect him to be playing on a Sunday. Not sure in what capacity, but I wish him the best.
Sure. I think he's definitely, just seeing him over the past year and a half, 2 years. In my opinion, I think he's definitely NFL caliber wide receiver. Just his ability to catch the ball, his ability to go get the ball a lot of times too. So I think he'll definitely play on Sundays. It's irrelevant what round he's going to get drafted in. I think that's irrelevant. I just think for me, I just kind of hate it. If I were his teammate, I would look at that kind of. It will bother me because you're doing it mid-season. Well, I want to say mid-season. You're doing it in the middle of the season, regardless of how many games you play. I think because you're doing it mid-season, that would rub me the wrong way. We went into the season thinking that you're going to play the entire season, but then you just kind of up and call it quits for whatever reason, whether it be you were concerned about injury, concerned about COVID, you had issues with the coach, whatever the issue may be. I just think that if I was his teammate, that would rub me the wrong way. But at the end of the day, that's his decision. I think as a Memphian, as a Memphis fan, I support him with whatever he wants to do. Go get your money at the end of the day.
I'll be real quick. I mean, I be wishing him well in the NFL. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, Here's what it is. James Wiseman left after 3-4 games.
Kenny
Gainwell left for a week before this season started. Literally 1 week before. I know it's COVID, but for whatever reason, I mean, I ain't no ill will. Go get your money. I wish him well. Can't wait to see him in the NFL because he will be on somebody's roster playing on the Sunday. So,
get paid, man. Go get paid.
And real quick, gentlemen, we play. Our next game is against Temple. Of course, we're gonna win. So, real quick, how many touchdowns y'all think we're gonna beat them by? I'm gonna start off with 3. We can do the same order.
I ain't getting me. No,
go ahead. Okay. We can go that order. Go ahead.
Man, Memphis by 50 now. You know, we lost the game to Temple last year on that catch. What they call that catch.
Yeah.
Memphis by 38. Memphis by 38.
Okay.
It's revenge. Memphis by 38. Let's go.
And when I say this, when a person or a player or a team shows you who they are, then believe them. Memphis is known to score 30. Easily give them 30 against this game against Temple. They definitely are a little bit upset about last year's game. So give me 35. They scoring 35 tomorrow.
The line is, I believe, 13.5 for in favor of the Tigers. Joey Magnifico should have been on an NFL roster. I don't understand why he's on an NFL roster. He was one of the best tight ends in football last year. With that being said, I get the Tigers by 21. I think they're gonna try to run it up for real. Like I think they're gonna try to run it all the way for them. I'm dead serious.
3 touchdowns. Let's go.
Yeah, I got them by 3 touchdowns and a field goal by 24.
Okay, I got Tigers 35-14. 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. I like it, gentlemen.
14
I like
points on defense? Jeez.
2020, man.
2020.
2020. I'm forward. All right,
I think for the rest of the year, like just saying 2020 is a legit excuse for anything crazy that happens at this point.
Exactly.
All right, Skyler.
It's time. NFL. Let's go.
It's time.
All right, so we got NFL headlines. It's time. You got the Tennessee Titans jersey on. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk about Baker Mayfield now, what I've been telling y'all, but that's irrelevant. So first game of the week, we got the Carolina Panthers going against the New Orleans Saints. Sharky, do you have the poll out for this game?
Yes, sir.
What's that poll looking like?
Shoot, I was the only one that voted for Carolina.
Yeah, 83% for the Saints.
Hold on, let me
got
figure out.
17% for the Panthers. So I'm gonna go in this order. I'm gonna go Sharky, Took, Trevor, Sheedy, Savage, and then I'll go last for all of these game picks. Tell me who you got to win each one of these games.
Man, look here. Give me the upset, dog. Slant Boy ain't coming back through that though. Ain't no fans in the Superdome. Or are they playing New Orleans? I forgot what it went.
Yes, I think it's in New Orleans.
Man, ain't no fans there. Give me the upset, too. Let's go, man. Keep pounding, man. Keep pounding, dog.
Thank you, brother. You know
what she said.
I'm almost.
That's the hashtag, though. That's the hashtag.
It is the hashtag, too.
Who next? Please go next.
Took is on you, buddy.
Golly, man. I can't stand you. I really can't stand you. But shout out to the other person that voted for the Panthers who clearly didn't know that Slant Main, we don't call him Slant Main, or Emmanuel Sanders aren't playing, which are their 2 best weapons outside of Kamara. So, of course, rolling with the Panthers, man. Like she said, keep pounding.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So, I voted for the Saints on Twitter, but I'm actually going to change my pick.
Nah, I'll keep that same energy.
No. I'm actually going to change it, and here's why.
Nope.
I'm 2-0 in upset picks with Sharky, and I ain't finna change right now. So give me the Panthers to win this game. Oh yeah, and those 2-0 was both for the Eagles. So yeah,
yep. Fly, you can fly, baby. That's not what she said.
Sharky, you call this a upset in the team below, but I think that they're both the same team, really. 3-3, 3-2. The Panthers are doing really well this season.
Wait, what? What? Huh? Let me have my headphones off real quick.
Do you want your flowers or do you want a super kick? I mean, with you,
man, I'm just happy those words came out of your mouth, bro.
I'm trying to give you a couple flowers. I'm about to be some dandelions in a moment. Not so fast. I got the Saints beating them.
What the headgear?
Oh, headgear?
Yeah, y'all know that I had the Panthers going 8-8, but I actually got the Saints winning this game. One, shout out to Malcolm Jenkins, former Eagles great. He will get his number retired for calling Mike. What's the guy's name? Michael Thomas. Slant boy. Shout out to Michael Jenkins for doing that. Shout out. But yeah, I got the Saints winning, not for any particular reason. I just think that with it being New Orleans, that New Orleans will win. Doesn't mean that the Panthers are a bad team. It's just a divisional matchup. So, but got Saints
for sure. I'm just going with the Panthers just because I'm also on this bandwagon that Drew Brees is on the decline. He's falling off the cliff. So I'm definitely on that bandwagon. But I will say this real quickly. The Panthers need to win this game. I think if you want respect in your division, because I don't think the Buccaneers or the Saints respect the Carolina Panthers. So I think if you want respect with the Saints being shorthanded, you can say that with no Emmanuel Sanders, no Clement Maine, the Panthers should and I think need to win this game. So I'm going with the Carolina Panthers.
I respect that.
All right.
For sure. Next game we have battle of the short quarterbacks, black quarterbacks though. You got the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. Golly, nobody's giving the Arizona Cardinals any respect. So maybe one of y'all are. So between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks, who you got?
Am I out first?
Same order.
Okay.
Yeah, same order. Go ahead.
Seattle been playing with fire all season long. Their defense hasn't been good. Russell Wilson has been saving them. Saving them, bro. Well, it's gonna come to the end this time, dog. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, dog.
Okay.
So I actually picked the Seahawks in this one, and I'm gonna go with my pick. I'm gonna roll with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm picking the Seahawks as well. Although the score may have looked convincing in their win against Dallas, Kyler Murray was god awful. He only completed like 9. I think he only completed 9 passes for the entire game.
He was like 9 for 24.
Yeah, so if you're having that trouble against Dallas like that, imagine what's going to happen when you're going up against Seattle. So give me the MVP, Russell Wilson, in this one.
MVP.
Yeah, and to your point, Kyler Murray beat a team with no D at all, Dallas. The Cardinals, they all ass. Right?
There you go.
I'm glad you accepted. But I got the Seahawks winning this game. I also believe these will be possibly the team. I think it's a better team that will be competing for the NFC Championship and competing in the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to steamroll the Cardinals, to be honest.
I am inclined to agree with Sheedy. The Seahawks have scored these points 38, 35, 38, 31, 27. And they have, in my opinion, a remix to Randy Moss and DK Metcalf. And you got the MVP and Russell Wilson. The Cardinals are a good team, but they're not ready quite yet. I feel like Pete Carroll will find a way to deal with Kyler Murray. So I think that Seattle will handily beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Gotcha. With my pick, first of all, shout out to Buda Baker. The game he had against the Cowboys, Jesus Christ, I didn't know he was that good. I see why they gave him his money. I'm going with the Seahawks in this game. I think it'll be a really close game. I don't see a blowout, but I see a lot of points being put up on this one. So give me Seahawks 41, Arizona Cardinals 38.
Okay, that's a fun game.
I think it's gonna be
That's a fun one.
I swear.
Somebody agree with you. Let's go.
In the game everybody's been waiting on.
Game of the week.
Go.
You got the game of the week. You know what I'm saying? You got the battle of undefeated.
Man, tighten up, man.
Apparently, only me and Skyler voted.
Titans, both teams are 5-0. This game was originally supposed to be played a couple of weeks ago, but I'm glad it's being played this week. So as you see, the poll has 82% for the Tennessee Titans and only 18% for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Phew, boy. Sharky, tell me that you are picking the Steelers.
You know I got the jersey on, right? There's no way I can come over here with this jersey and pick the Steelers to win this game. But it would be a great game. I'm gonna tell you this. This should have been Sunday Night Football with the Seahawks and Cardinals.
Yes,
we're not gonna dive into that. The NFL don't care about us because that's the only reason it's not a Sunday night game. If it was y'all versus the Ravens or y'all versus the Eagles, it would have been Sunday night. I guarantee you. But for that reason, shout out to Ryan Clark today. Although his comments were warranted, in my opinion, although a couple of words that he said that were disrespectful to Derrick Henry, I think Derrick Henry, he's going to don't just know the Titans take stuff like that, and we're going to run with it. But I can't say you this. I'm scared as hell from our defense. Savage keep telling me we find ways to win. Man, I'm telling you now, we ain't the Chiefs. We are scoring a lot. Let's be real. We are scoring a lot, but let's be real. When we go down to it, we're not the Chiefs. We Ryan Tannehill is good. He's not Pat Mahomes.
Amen.
We need our defense to finally do something. Hopefully this is the game, but we'll see. I'll go by Titans by about 3. It'll be a really close game.
Hopefully not by field goal.
He's been on and off. He's had some good games since the
Go ahead, too.
She said, "Keep pounding." I'm gonna say, "Tighten up, man. Tighten up, baby." I'm gonna roll with it, man. Shout out to Ryan Clark for opening a can of whoop ass for Henry. I think he said something about a stat on how like the Steelers didn't have like a runner for over 100 yards over like 3-4 times like the last 10-15, whatever stat it was. Derrick Henry's gonna have 100 yards. Titans gonna win by 6.
Got the pinky out.
That's funny that you say that Derrick Henry was going to rush for 100 yards because that hasn't happened yet. You need to put some respect on the Steelers defense. That's second in rushing defense. So let's hold the brakes on that. Not saying that Derrick Henry can't do it, but let's pump the brakes on the guarantees there. This game is going to be really close. Tennessee obviously has the better offense. We have the better defense. We're definitely going to be without Mike Hill. Definitely going to be without Devin Bush, who we lost for the season with a torn ACL. We may also be without our corner, Mike Hilton, as well.
He's confirmed out.
He's confirmed out. Okay, so
but Taylor Warren is out for us too, my best lineman. So
yeah, so it's gonna be a real close game. It's gonna be a tall task for both teams. I don't know how either Boswell wins it or Gostkowski loses it. Steelers 38-35.
Wow. Pittsburgh and the Tennessee Titans, two teams that should also see each other sometime in the AFC playoffs. So we're just getting a preview right now of what a potential, I'm not saying AFC championship game could be, but a semifinal game for sure, if it gets that far. Give me the Steelers. I think this game is going to make Ryan Tannehill earn his money. I don't believe Derrick Henry is going to rush for 100 yards. If he does, great. But it's not going to be because of Derrick Henry that they win. The Titans have a chance. It's going to be because of Ryan Tannehill. Mike Tomlin and that defense are going to get it together to put down and bring back the steel curtain as it is, even if they are one or two guys short. So I think it'll be a tight brawl. I think both teams will go with nothing more. Actually, I don't think nothing more than like 24 points. I think first of 24 will actually win the game.
So I just want to hear this correctly. None of y'all Steelers people are saying that Derrick Henry will run for 100 yards. That's correct.
That's
okay.
what I haven't gone yet.
Whoa. Before you, who is the number one rushing team in the NFL right now? Well, was.
I don't even care. I don't even care.
That was your Cleveland Browns. You said we'll beat the Steelers, and we only held them to 7.
Is it my turn? I just want
Go ahead.
That's the question, though.
No, I just asked yes or no question. Okay, so Derrick Henry has like 600 yards rushing this year off 5 games.
But hey, before the last game, Derrick Henry was only averaged like 3-something yards a carry.
That's cool, but I mean, yards are yards. Yards are yards, man. The man ran for 200 last game. I mean, what you
it's the Texans defense.
That's the Texans.
Okay. This is National Football League. I don't care. You go out there and play, and you get 200 yards. I mean, damn. What's wrong with me? The man got 200 yards. Did he or did he not get 200 yards? Like, I just want to know. I just want to know, man.
I said he could go for 100. I just don't think he will.
Okay, so all that to say, this man got 600 yards rushing in 5 games. We can do math with that. The way that the Titans offense operates is inside out. They want to rush the ball. I mean, that's what they do. I fully expect Derrick Henry to get his 100 yards. Like, it's pretty much money in the bank for me. With that being said, I'm gonna pick the Titans. It's gonna be a game. I'm kind of iffy if it's going to be high scoring or not, just because I feel like it's going to be so tight that it's going to be like a 21-17. It's going to be an ugly game, I think. I feel like the defense both defenses are going to step up and play well to go against these high-powered offenses. It was tough. Like, that's my Super Bowl team, the Titans, but I was very close to picking the Steelers. I'm not going to lie, because like I said, they have unlocked something with Chase Claypool. Ben is playing decent. I don't think he's back to where he was in years past, but he's playing decent. And Minka Fitzpatrick made his appearance, but like Scott said, sometimes not hearing the name on television means he's doing well, which I definitely agree with. So I get Titans 21-17. The line is interesting. They have I think it's
Steelers by.
I think it's 1.5 Steelers. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting that they think that highly of Pittsburgh. I personally don't. I'm not saying that they're trash, but I don't think they're better than the Titans. So I got Titans 21-17.
Yeah, I think, and to your point, it's funny that the poll, looking at the poll and just kind of listening to like ESPN and Fox Sports, national media is Pittsburgh all day. But if you come down to the South a little bit, it's Tennessee Titans all day, and nobody's picking the Steelers. So it's interesting. It's playing out that way. I honestly still, even as I'm making my pick, have no idea who I think will win, just because Devin Bush being out and Mike Hilton being out. Those two names, I think the average person, you may be like, who is that? But Devin Bush and Mike Hilton are two of the most underrated defensive players on that team. Mike Hilton at the slot, who's top 5 in tackles for a loss in the NFL, which is interesting. Then Devin Bush, who has led the defense in tackles over the past year and a half. So him being out, I think, is crucial. David DeCastro does come back for the offensive line. So I think that helps the Steelers. One thing that's really scaring me is Ben hasn't had a bad game yet. That, for me, it's hard to stick with. And I feel like this maybe because he doesn't play too well in Nashville. But I think I'm going with the Steelers only because I think the Steelers get one more stop than the Tennessee Titans do. That's the only reason I'm going with the Steelers. I think the Steelers defense get one more stop than the Titans, and I'm also scared of Derrick Henry too. But like Trevor said, it is the number 2 rushing defense of the league. So we'll see. I'm going with the Steelers 27, Titans 21.
Okay.
First to 24.
There you go. Take that.
Yeah. That's a good prediction.
It's a bigger game. Can't wait.
So we split. We got 3 Titans, 3 Steelers.
And Twitter, I know. Twitter broke it.
Twitter said, forget Pittsburgh.
Twitter got split. All right, man. Let's go and get the game of Would You Rather in. And let me go first since we just got done talking about Titans and Steelers. So Chris Johnson makes comments. Our former Titans running back Chris Johnson, 2,000-yard rusher 1 year. Chris Johnson made a statement last week that the Titans had the best running backs in NFL. Basically, they're running, number ones, just consistency in NFL history. So, of course, there are other teams like in my opinion, I would say the Rams. Of course, you got the Cowboys. They're their running backs. But to keep it Titans Steelers, I saw a certain graphic that I'm about to share. All right. Would you rather All-time running backs. The Titans or Steelers.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
You choose? Got Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson, Eddie George, and Earl Campbell for the Titans / Oilers. And for the Steelers, you have Le'Veon Bell, Jerome Bettis, Franco Harris, and John Henry Johnson.
Golly.
So, order Took, Trevor, Sheedy, Savage, and Skyler.
All right. If I have to pick right off the top, I'm again say tighten up. For the simple fact is, I'm looking at somebody who got 2,000 yards. I'm looking at somebody who was literally a yard away from a Super Bowl. Sorry to hurt your feelings, Sharky.
Right,
Earl Campbell, don't know too much about Earl Campbell, but he's on the list, so I'm assuming he's really good at what he did. And Derrick Henry, who is going against quarterbacks this year for MVP conversation. So what I'm saying, I'm gonna roll with the Titans. No disrespect to the Steelers, because everybody at that list down below I've definitely heard of, but no disrespect, but Titans. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a real tough one. This is really tough to pick. Only reason I'm going with the Steelers is just because of the versatility that you get from both Le'Veon Bell and Franco Harris, because not only were good in between the tackles, they could also be a decent receiver as far as catching it out of the backfield. And then, of course, we all know what you was getting from the bus. Not too much that I know of John Henry Johnson, but I'm pretty sure he was great in his own right as well. But that line for Tennessee is great. Don't get me wrong. But just like I said, just on sheer versatility alone, I'm taking the Steelers line of running backs.
Tighten up.
Okay. Good to see I ain't the only one.
That was it. Okay, yeah, I'm tightening up too. I mean, if we compare like matchup for matchup or however you want to do it, I mean, off of name alone, I know 7 out of these 8 running backs. I don't know who John Henry Johnson is, but I mean, but he's a Hall of Famer, I'm sure, just because I mean it's a Pittsburgh running back. Earl Campbell was a beast. Eddie George was a beast with Steve McNair. Should have won Super Bowl. Chris Johnson was ridiculous. Healthy Chris Johnson, Lord have mercy, is a track meet with that man. And then Derrick Henry is a freaking juggernaut out in space. So I'm gonna go tighten up, but I mean Pittsburgh, they ain't no slouch either though, because Jerome Bettis. I mean, y'all talking about Derrick Henry? I ain't tackling Jerome Bettis either.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Exactly. That's facts.
Real quick, I'm actually going with the Titans as well. I'm actually going with the Titans on this one as well too. Leave it at that.
It was tough.
Good one, Sharky.
Excellent.
That was a great one. Great one.
Yeah, it's very tough. I got the Titans as well for the same reason Savage said. Pretty sure John Henry Johnson was great, but of these 8 running backs, he's the one I hadn't heard of. Eric Campbell is one of the greatest of all time. Eddie George, Ohio State, unfortunately, but hey, I loved it. Chris Johnson, if y'all knew me, he was back in high school. Skyler probably knew I couldn't stand Chris Johnson actually. When we paid him, because before Chris Johnson got paid versus after he got paid were 2 totally different
things.
But he had 2,000 yard season. We went 8-8, but he had 2,000 yard season. Can't take that away. He just like Derrick Henry with these long runs. That was Chris Johnson. That speed was just something different. And difference between Derrick Henry and Jerome Bettis. Don't want to tackle you to running them, but Derrick Henry on that 94-yard run, I knew he was fast, but dang, he created space. That
was separation speed. I didn't realize he was that fast. He literally separated from DBs.
Right.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I just say James Conner went on that list.
Chill.
Chill.
I mean, I had to get him back, man. I'm still having to make a comment, but it is what it is.
You don't be getting on us. Get on Baker for that terrible performance last week. So
I'm talking about the past, bro. I'm talking about the past.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, shout out to your brother for trading me James Conner for Kenny Drake. He's great.
You just get out, bro. Goodness gracious, man. We're gonna have to cancel you out in fantasy next year. But now let's wrap it up, gentlemen. Of course, I put into the group me would you rather. So for all the NBA teams that have to go and hire a coach this summer, who would you rather be the coach of? So of course I started off, then we go to Trevor, Sheedy, ended off with Sharky. Honestly, nah. Honestly, a lot of people think I'm gonna go with the Nets because, of course, my favorite player's on there. But I like Sunshine, bro, and I like the fact that if we defeat the other team that we're playing next to, there's a good chance we can go to the NBA Finals. So give me the Clippers. I honestly take the Clippers job. I'm somebody that's always said, do not break up Paul George and Kawhi Leonard just yet because it was a pandemic. Of course, they didn't have on-court chemistry. But a lot of teams didn't, you know what I'm saying? And, we can say the same thing about Kawhi his whole career. He's always low managed, but when it comes down to the ball, he's balling, right? So you get him, you get Paul George, and everybody else. I would have fun reconstructing that roster too. So it's LA, beautiful weather. I have a lot of fun reconstructing that roster. And the fact that, it can be a Clipper City if I'm coaching. It'll be Clipper City instead of Laker City. I'll take him, man. Shout out to the Nets.
Well, I'm finna get off this.
Hey, man, I'm a heck of a coach.
You said coach. You didn't say coach and GM, but since we
coach, GM, same difference.
Since we going that route, and
I know. I'm
just give me a little bit of time on this one. So if I had to choose a team, first and foremost, it'll be those folks in Philly. And here's why. Soon as I'm brought in, the very first thing I'm doing is I'm having a conversation with Joel Embiid to see if he's happy in Philly. If he is, cool. If not, I'm just gonna tell him we're gonna feature the offense to you so we can get you out of here so you can go somewhere where you can be happy and things of that nature. I'm benching Ben Simmons.
You benching?
I am benching Ben Simmons. And here's why. You're going to start shooting a jump shot one way or another. And I need 200 makes a day. That's 100 mid-range, 100 threes. And you need to prove to me that you are confident to shoot it in the game. And after each practice, I need 20 made free throws in a row. And to make sure that it gets done, I'm putting Tobias Harris as your partner to hold you accountable. So neither one of y'all leave, so both of y'all make 20 straight free throws.
I'm done. I'm not answering this question. I'm done.
And if he don't like it,
low key, that scared me. Low key, like we in a horror movie.
Happy Halloween, look man.
Happy Halloween, man.
I just wanted to scream once he said that.
And if Ben doesn't like it, I'm taking trade offers and I'm putting the pieces around Embiid, and Embiid will be happy and the offense will be all around him. And then y'all will probably fire me. So that's there you go.
Hey, get your money.
You gonna get that mellow treatment. You ain't gonna last 10 games.
If the question is which of these coaching positions would I like to take on holistically, I'm actually going to that are just new hires. I would actually choose the Pelicans.
God dang it.
The reason I choose the Pelicans, you should have been second. But the reason why I choose the Pelicans, man, is the high expectations. They don't have the high expectations. The Nets have high expectations. The 73rds have high expectations. The Clappers have high expectations, right? But the Pelicans,
y'all trolling tonight, man.
Right?
Tonight.
They weren't a playoff team last season. They created the bubble to try to get them in. They're not going to get in. The West is only going to get better. You're going to give me time to coach them, right? And develop some stuff. So actually, I would take the Pelicans job over any foreseeable.
Even Oklahoma City with a similar situation?
I am, because Oklahoma City was in the playoffs. So my mentality is, if you were in the playoffs last year, you should be expected to be in the playoffs again, depending upon what they do with Chris Paul. But I would rather have the Pelicans with younger talent, right? SGA is prime. I would love that. But the Lonzo to Zion combination, and hopefully, they keep Brandon Ingram and feature him more with the Pelicans, and then build around with Zion. He'll be the ringless Charles Barkley still, that's in the league. So there's not too much for him.
So New Orleans was my. I had a 1A and a 1B. So New Orleans was my 1A because I feel like looking at that even going beyond what Sheedy said, because all that is part of what I was gonna say. But that division is very winnable, which sounds weird in basketball, but you play against a lot of the people in the division. Houston Rockets, I feel like that's a decline coming. With Dallas, yes, they have talent, but they're injury prone with KP. Not sure how Luka's going to handle being the only star that's there. And then Memphis still a young team. We'll see how they do next year. And then the Spurs are not as good anymore. So my 1B, this sounds kind of weird, but I'm thinking about myself, right? So I feel like I'll be a good coach. I would use my players properly. And I also am not afraid of the spotlight. So the job that I would pick is in the Mecca. I'm going to the New York Knicks. I'm fixing the Knicks, man. I like it.
I like it.
No, because you got a terrible ass on it. It don't matter how good.
It don't matter.
Right, you need a GM, dog.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It don't
matter, man. It don't matter because I can coach.
Oh, okay.
Man.
And he coaching the best player in the league. Oh man, come on. I like that, Savage. Good pick, bro.
I'm coaching the Knicks, man. I'm coaching the Knicks, man. Because I don't know what that noise is. It's distracting me, but I'm doing the Knicks because I feel like I can get them right. I feel like I will put players in position to do well. I'm getting rid of all these power forwards we got.
10 of them.
I thought he said the Knicks. Oh, good luck with that,
and I'm waiting on my guy BI to leave New Orleans and come to the Knicks to be paired with RJ Barrett, and then I figure everything out from there. So give me the New York Knicks. I don't care if y'all look at me crazy. I probably am crazy. But I'm making it happen.
You'll be fired in a year anyway.
Yeah.
I thought you said the Nets, dog.
You'll be chilling with me. So
the Knicks, man. Give me the Knicks, man. Nah, I need the Knicks.
I guess
go to 1A.
Yeah, I think y'all are kind of taking all mine. So because nobody has said the Nets, I'm just gonna go with the Nets. Potentially one of the best players in the league in Kevin Durant. You got Kyrie Irving. I would be a little concerned about chill out too. I'm a little concerned about Kyrie Irving. That will make me a little hesitant about being wanting to be the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. But I think you have a really good up and coming team. You have a pretty good market that you can be in. Clearly, the GM and the owner are willing to spend money to do whatever they can to make sure that team is relevant. You got pretty good pieces. So give me the Brooklyn Nets. But that's only because y'all took the teams that I want to do. So there you go.
I mean, you could have. Go ahead, Sharky.
Could have picked the Pacers. I
was like, the Pacers,
the Bulls. Hey, Savage, why you choose the Bulls?
OKC,
the Rockets.
Hey man, the Knicks. I'm telling y'all, I can get them back to the promised land. It's been a long time, man. I'm a good coach. I'm a bootleg breakdown.
You know, you still got to answer the master, right?
Right.
I'm kick my ass.
Well,
I'm the master now.
I'm the captain now.
Well,
the Knicks.
He said the Knicks.
Bro, his press conference on the way out. Y'all can kiss my ass too. Hey, bro, we need to get you to be the. Where do we sign that petition at? I need.
Man, what?
Let's go back and you say that.
I'll sign that junk quick.
All right. So, unlike Skyler, who said he switched his pick because of y'all, I'm not switching my pick. New Orleans it is, man. I like seafood. You know, get to be down. I like beignets. I'm gonna get the best trainer I know to get Zion whipped into shape, man. Now, whoever said there's no pressure down New Orleans, there is pressure because Zion is all over ESPN every day. So there's gonna be pressure, trust me. But I like young guys. I like the young players. I get to groom them like how I want. I don't want to deal with some moody, whiny superstars in Brooklyn. I like AD and Kyrie, but I don't like. I can't deal with moody players, bro. The Clippers. Paul George is just it. just a phony. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with my best player being just super quiet where I can hear mouse
and hitting the backboard
and stuff.
He got rings though.
Yeah, he do got rings, but yeah, I do. I like seafood over sunshine, so let's go. We want to see this time.
You're gonna be eating beignets on the sidelines.
What he don't know is he in Bourbon Street right after the game. That's what he ain't telling you.
Right.
That's what he's telling you.
In Miss Zion.
I ain't get our best buds.
All right, man. That was a good episode. Hey, anybody got anything before we get
I never asked Sheedy, what the hell is up with that title?
He was late.
He was late. Late to class.
Yeah.
Yeah, my teacher would have kicked me out for something like that.
Well, this is the representation of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, man. So just from the Let's Be Real, we just want to make sure we, tell people, during those typical months, like domestic violence and stuff like that, that we stand behind our women. So it's a breast and a titty. Make sure you go get your mammogram taken care of, ladies.
One more thing for me. Please do not forget the NFC East is still trash.
And will be won by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fly, Eagles fly, dog. Fly, Eagles fly. All right, y'all. See you next time.
Go Memphis.
Peace.